Trail running is one of the purest and most accessible pastimes you can do. It combines a love of health with a passion for the outdoors and a touch of adventure. Conquering the challenges an event presents lies largely in self-belief, but the rewards are many for those willing to toe the start line and test their mettle in wild terrain. Australia's southern state, Lutruwita, Tasmania, offers runners endless opportunities to escape the mundane and explore the extraordinary. And you don't have to travel from the capital, Nipaluna Hobart, at all. Living in Nipaluna Hobart, you can feel the presence of the mountain in everyday life. Its name is Kunanyi, the Tasmanian Aboriginal name for the colonial name Mount Wellington. The mountain watches protectively over Nipaluna Hobart and the Huon and Derwent valleys. For thousands of years, the Palawa, the Tasmanian Aboriginal people, have and still do consider it to be sacred. They now generously welcome and share Kunanyi with locals and tourists to hike, climb and trail run. Across its sloping rocky face are a myriad of tracks, each with their own unique attributes. For those lucky enough to call Nipaluna Hobart home, these trails are a playground. Nipaluna Hobart's fast-growing trail running community wanted to celebrate the mountain, its epic trails and its culture. And so, Kunanyi Mountain Run was born. Runs ranging from 5 to 68 kilometres, and all with heaps of elevation, feature the best of Kunanyi's trails and showcase the mountain's incredible diverse landscapes.
Awesome, thank you. See you tomorrow.
Kunanyi Mountain Run is more than a collection of trail races. It's a community-spirited festival of the outdoor life, local culture, history and connection to country.
We both just got here and have had a look around, and we're a bit blown away, to be honest, with how amazing the setup is. Like, so many facilities, so much signage. Even down to the event booklet was like a work of art. It was amazing. We're getting more excited as the hours go on.
I'm super excited to be here in Tasmania and taking part in the Kunanyi Trail Race. I have explored a little bit of Hobart, but I haven't spent a lot of time on the mountain, and I'm really excited to do it with the community and be a part of this event in its first year. I just got a feeling it's going to be something really special. I'm most looking forward to exploring the different terrains and diversity that this course has to offer. It's amazing that you can run from the city of Hobart, be in the mountains and the rocks at the altitude, and just to experiencing that all in one day is such a beautiful thing.
When the event was created, a big part of what the team wanted to do was show people a taste of what life in Lutruwita, Tasmania is like. Apart from food vans, there was also cultural and environmental education experiences on offer and plenty of entertainment. But most importantly, they wanted to pay their respect and provide an open and supportive platform for Palawa, the Tasmanian Aboriginal people, to share their culture and stories.
Kunanyi to our people is a dominant feature in what is a bold, open and embracing cultural landscape, steeped in the history of thousands of generations of Palawa, walking, living, giving birth and dying under the protection and dominant impact that Kunanyi imprints on each and every one of us still to this day.
Across the weekend, there's 4 running events: a 27-kilometre mountain run, a 68-kilometre ultra marathon tackled solo or by a relay team, and a vertical kilometre. It's only 5 kilometres but 1,000 metres elevation. First race is the Ultra. At 68 kilometres, it's more than 2.5 times the distance of a marathon. And within those miles are not only technical trails with mud, tree roots and ankle-busting rocks, but nearly 4,000 metres of vertical gain. But before proceedings get underway, there's a pre-dawn smoking ceremony to ward off evil spirits and ask for the protection of the runners.
Lingana Panichi! Draw in the good spirit. Carry all these runners through the mountain, keep them safe. Hey, hey! Hey, hey! Lingana Panichi! Go with us, good spirit.
sun moves higher into the morning sky, the competitors in the Kunani Mountain Run Ultra are also ascending. Greeting them as they make their way to the top of the first of the day's climbs are spectacular views across the valley and city below. It's a fitting reward for the Herculean effort they put in to reach this point. Those at the front of the field are seeing glimpses of the city waking up as they fly along one of Kunani's most iconic trails under the famous organ pipes. Kunani is a remarkable and varied landscape that constantly evolves as you get higher. The ferny gullies give way to peppermint and wet eucalypt forests. But the rocky terrain towards the top is a real highlight, with dolerite boulder fields and the iconic organ pipes. It's not only a trail running mecca, but a playground for rock climbers too. As the pointy end of the field approaches the pinnacle of Kunani, the golden light begins to fade and the temperature starts to climb. The morning chill across the alpine heath will soon give way to much warmer conditions, which adds another layer of challenge for the runners. It's something that Lutruwita Tasmanian trail runner Alex Hunt is taking in his stride as he establishes an early lead over his competitors. While the ultra runners are starting to arrive at the top of Kunani, some 11 kilometres into their journey, back down the mountain, the start line is again alive with activity as the 27-kilometre competitors prepare for their run. The 27-kilometre is a classic mountain run, going from the bottom to the top and then back down again. While it might be a lot shorter than the ultra, what it lacks in distance, it makes up for in intensity. The 27-kilometre takes runners from the event hub to the pinnacle of Kunani and back down again. The course utilises some of the iconic trails in the mountain that expose competitors to a diverse range of natural environments. It manages to showcase Kunani's diverse vegetation, geology and microclimates in one jam-packed adventure. The Organ Pipes track is one of the mountain's most popular trails and most runnable. It takes runners from the chalet, a remnant of Kunani's more recent history, and beneath the remarkable dolerite columns of the 120-metre Organ Pipes. There are so many awesome views to take in, and many runners aren't here to race hard. They're here to run with Kunani by immersing in the landscape and taking home plenty of memories, stories and photos. Mountain running was once seen as the realms of only the most adventurous of athletes. But in recent years, it has become a much more mainstream sport. Today, people from all walks of life are tackling trails that were once perceived as too hard or long for the inexperienced. Kunani Mountain Run has trail runners of all ages competing. However, those that have spent plenty of time on the slopes of the mountains and in technical terrain, like 27-kilometre race leader Piotr Babis, will always seem far more at home in these often challenging environments. About 22 kilometres into the ultra event is the Myrtle Forest Aid Station. It's a part of the course that sees runners in the cool rainforest gullies, where moss-covered rocks and ferns create a vibrant green setting. Reaching here first was Alex Hunt, who had been leading since the run began. Courses have a great mix of technical terrain with tree roots and rocks, as well as free-flowing single track and fire trails. There's also a variety of flat ground where you can move fast. There's punchy little ups and long grinding inclines, with plenty of descents to match. If this stunning scenery isn't enough to inspire you, then the encore support from spectators and fellow runners alike is sure to motivate even the most fatigued of runners. Back at the finish line, spectators eagerly await the arrival of the first competitors in the 27-kilometre mountain run.
Piotr finishing the 27k Cascade Mountain Run in a time of 2 hours.
First across the line was Polish runner Piotr Babis, who now calls Litchwater, Tasmania, home. Next up was Andrew Hager, some 9 minutes later. Fatigue was clear as he collapsed to the ground immediately after the finish.
And here we have the first female across the line, Lucy Bartholomew.
Leading the women's field home was trail running favourite Lucy Bartholomew. Her time of 3 hours, 11 minutes sets a high standard for the inaugural event.
There's certainly some beers going down quite well.
As the afternoon continues, runners start to stream across the finish. Grimaces quickly become smiles of joy as they're greeted by cheers and a feeling of euphoria as they realise they've achieved something quite remarkable.
Enjoyed that, man?
Oh, it's great.
As runners start to recover at the finish of the 27-kilometre, those in the ultra are reaching the 46-kilometre point and the Cathedral Rock Aid Station. It's a part of the course with plenty of lush greenery and shade beneath the rainforest canopy. By this point in the race, for many of the competitors, this is the furthest they've ever run. They're now officially ultra runners. Not only have they gone beyond the legendary distance of a marathon, but they've done it on mountainous terrain, complete with a river crossing. While many of those in the ultra still have a long way to go and mountains to climb, at the Run Hub, the race leader was quickly approaching the finish.
barring anything serious happening in the last part of his race. Here he is coming around the corner. Massive, massive effort. Alex Hunt, first across the line in the inaugural Kununyi Mountain Run, 68-kilometre event. And find your feet. Keep those applause going. Give him what he's just done. We will give him...
A long day spent running from the front saw Alex Hunt take a hard-earned victory. First in the women's field was Emma Flitner, who was followed home by Meg Sinclair, both of whom looked as happy as they were relieved to cross the line.
Indeed it is, smiling brightly. Meg Sinclair, second placed female in the Find Your Feet 68-kilometre solo ultra here at the Kununyi Mountain Run.
As the sun rises over Nipaluna Hobart on the second day of competition at the Kununyi Mountain Run, the city starts to come alive. Down by the waterfront, there's little activity, but on the nearby mountainside, there's a buzz in the air. Athletes are arriving to run in a very unique and incredibly challenging race known as a vertical kilometre. This will be the first international sky running certified VK in Australia, as only Kununyi has what it takes to host one. It will also be the inaugural Australian Championship, and because of that, we see some of the best mountain runners in the country towing the line. As the first group of runners begins their journey up the mountain, back at the start line, the next wave nervously awaits their turn. To avoid congestion on the trails, the event is split into a series of groups, which means everyone gets a clear run to the top and can enjoy the rugged beauty of the landscapes without getting stuck in a crowd. A vertical kilometre, usually called a VK, is basically 1,000 metres of vertical gain in 5 kilometres, or less. So we're talking seriously steep terrain, which also generally means it's really technical too. It's a format of racing popular in Europe, but here in Australia, Kununyi is the only mountain that has all the necessary requirements to run an event, making it truly unique. One of the great things about the vertical kilometre is that while it might seem really hard on paper, realistically anyone can do it. The Kununyi Mountain Run team deliberately set a very achievable cut-off time, so you can basically hike the whole way. This means that within reason, no matter how old or young you are, or how experienced you are in the mountains, as long as you're fit, have a sense of adventure, and don't mind a bit of hard work, you can take on the challenge. The terrain constantly changes, so runners have to stay focused. This diversity in landscapes also makes it a very scenic course, where no two strides are ever the same. It means the kilometres might be incredibly challenging, but they pass by quickly as your mind is distracted from the pain by the remarkable environment in which you're playing. At the pinnacle of the mountain, the conditions are cold and windy. It's a contrast to the calmness below. Ringing bells and cheering fill the air as Mark Vaughan emerges from amongst the boulders to claim the inaugural Australian vertical kilometre title. Hot on his heels was teammate and good friend Matt Crean. A seasoned mountain athlete, but new to this discipline, he gave it everything and finished with a smile, clearly having enjoyed an amazing morning on the mountain. Moments later, the battle for third and fourth unfolded in the most dramatic of ways, with Brodie Mankiewicz holding off Jeremy Hunt in a sprint for the finish. Over the coming hours, runners continued to scramble their way up the mountain, some able to muster up a running stride, while others could barely get one foot in front of the other in the steep and technical terrain. While everyone had a different approach as to how they ran with Kunani, the one they all shared was that overwhelming joy and feeling of achievement as they reached the pinnacle. This event really highlights that anyone of any age can be part of the trail running community. It might be a challenging course that tests your mental and physical strength, but it's achievable. The same goes for the 27-kilometre race and even the ultra. You simply need to set your mind to the task, take the time to prepare, and then believe in yourself. If it's any consolation, that team that puts on the event sure does believe in you. Taking out the Australian titles were Maria Walsh and Mark Bourne. However, it's not all about the people standing on the podium. Kunani Mountain Run isn't just about trail running. It's a holistic event that's intrinsically tied in with culture, community and nature. It was created to showcase a taste of what Lutruwita Tasmania has to offer and the amazing experience people can have if they're willing to step outside their comfort zone and embrace the wonders of Kunani.